Caitlin Clark fans aren't happy with Angel Reese. They are freezing her out. Outkick wrote an article and dropped it today. Angel Reese ignores Caitlin Clark multiple times in Team USA win, and the video proves it. The great Joe Kinsey wrote that article.
Team USA women's basketball came away with a win against Puerto Rico women's basketball team, at least on the scoreboard. But the final result only tells part of the story, because there's a difference between winning a game and actually playing cohesive team basketball, and Game 2 made that distinction very clear. Something on the floor felt off, not necessarily because of the opponent, but because of how disjointed the execution looked at times. It raised questions about chemistry, roles, and overall flow within the lineup. So while the result goes down as a win for Team USA, anyone who watched closely knows it wasn't a smooth performance. The scoreline looked fine, but the overall product was far more inconsistent than the outcome suggests. Now the debate shifts. Are these issues something coaching can fix, or are they about player roles and attitude on the court?
I mean, I thought the game was a little clunky. I felt like we probably didn't play our best. I thought Paige played really well, but it felt good. I mean, I obviously probably didn't shoot it as well as I would have liked. I think their zone kind of threw us off. I thought it kind of slowed down our pace a little bit. We didn't get as much in transition, so I think if like another team plays zone, just continue to play with a lot of pace and don't let them set the zone.
And the frustrating part is that we already saw what it can look like when things are working. In Game 1, Team USA women's basketball played with rhythm and structure. The ball movement was sharp, spacing looked intentional, and the offense had clear flow. Caitlin Clark came off the bench and made an immediate impact, finishing with 17 points and 12 assists in 19 minutes. She consistently made the right reads, pushed tempo, and created cleaner looks for everyone around her. When she entered the game, the energy and pace visibly shifted in Team USA's favor. Then came Game 2 against Puerto Rico women's basketball team. Despite the expectation of a more comfortable matchup, the execution looked less connected. The ball movement wasn't as crisp, spacing broke down at times, and the overall offensive flow felt inconsistent compared to the previous game. It created a very different picture, one where the structure that worked in Game 1 didn't carry over, and the team struggled to find the same rhythm.
Jealousy meets envy. You get what you saw last night. Caitlin Clark being shunned out of the game, iced out of the game, ignored, teammates refusing to pass her the ball. We got Angel Reese taking it coast to coast, Caitlin Clark right next to her, refusing to give her the ball, going, pushing, giving it to Diarca Hamby, and the ball it's a turnover. What we saw yesterday was the definition of jealousy.
Let that sit for a second. A 24-second clip has been circulating on social media, and even without seeing it, the sequence is easy to picture. Puerto Rico women's basketball team puts up a shot. The ball comes off the rim, and Caitlin Clark is right there in position, already reading the play and tracking the rebound opportunity. It's the kind of moment where having your primary decision-maker involved makes perfect sense. She's in the right spot, ready to secure possession and immediately push the offense forward. In situations like that, you want the ball in her hands. That's where she naturally creates value for the team.
Damn, says Caitlin, get the out my way. uses her right forearm to shield Caitlin from the ball like Caitlin's a defender, only to push the ball up herself. Caitlin says, oh, you got that? Oh, okay, my bad. My bad. I thought I was the point guard here, but you got that? Oh, okay. Okay. Hey, I didn't know. I thought we were on the same team, but you got that. You're right. You're the point forward. At least that's what your fans tell you. Oh, realizes we're not going anywhere.
Team USA women's basketball showed a moment in transition where roles and decision-making came into focus. Angel Reese secured the rebound, which is a key part of her game and something she consistently does well. However, instead of immediately outletting the ball to the nearest guard, Caitlin Clark, who was already in position and calling for it, she pushed the ball up the floor herself. Clark ran alongside the play, signaling for the ball and looking to initiate the offense, but the possession continued without her involvement. The sequence eventually broke down when a long transition pass attempt didn't connect, turning what could have been a clean, fast break opportunity into a disrupted possession. The point isn't about a single mistake, it's about fit and structure. Reese has previously operated in a more expanded role at Chicago Sky, where she was sometimes involved in initiating offense beyond traditional frontcourt responsibilities. But WNBA systems at the highest level often rely on clearly defined roles. On a roster built with multiple primary guards and playmakers, the expectation is usually simple. Rebounders secure possession, and outlets go to designated ball handlers who control tempo and create offense. In that context, Reese's biggest value isn't in pushing the break or forcing advanced passes. It's in rebounding, finishing plays, and operating as a strong interior presence when the offense flows through its primary creators. Rebounding, finishing at the rim, and operating as an interior threat are all key parts of her role. The important distinction is simple. Effectiveness comes when the ball naturally finds her in scoring position, not when she forces initiation of the offense away from the primary guards. Nobody is suggesting that Angel Reese should be sidelined or minimized. The point is about clarity of roles within Team USA Women's Basketball. When roles are defined and executed properly, both Reese and Caitlin Clark benefit. When they are not, the offense becomes disjointed and inefficient. In Game 1, when Clark was running certain lineups alongside players like Kelsey Plum and others, the offense looked fluid and organized. The ball moved quickly, spacing improved, and players consistently got cleaner looks. Even Reese benefited in those moments, finding easier scoring opportunities created by Clark's ability to draw defensive attention and open up the floor. That's the impact Clark tends to have. She elevates offensive efficiency through playmaking, timing, and court vision. She doesn't just score. She creates structure and opportunity for others by forcing defenses to collapse and react. So when possessions shift away from that structure, the offense often loses rhythm, and the margin for error becomes much smaller. Game 2 reflected that inconsistency, with stretches where the execution didn't match the talent on the floor. It's also important to note that Clark did not start either Game 1 or Game 2. Coaching experimentation is expected early in a tournament, especially with a roster that has had limited time together. Coaches are still evaluating combinations, rotations, and chemistry. However, the challenge with experimentation is simple. When certain lineups clearly produce better flow and efficiency, it becomes harder to justify not leaning into them more consistently as the competition progresses. If you think it's time for the coaches to step in and sort this out before it gets any worse, hit that like button, subscribe for more honest sports commentary, and drop your take in the comments below. We read everything.